Welcome to today's edition of Crypto Corner at InvestorIdeas.com. News on what's driving the cryptocurrency market. Hey everyone, this is Sam Mowers here, and welcome to episode 461 of the Crypto Corner podcast. For news today, Square has purchased $50 million in Bitcoin. Bitcoin has rallied and broke $11,000, and the BIS and 7 central banks have published a report on CBDCs. But just before we dive into today's show, a quick reminder that if you enjoyed this podcast, please feel free to share it or leave us a review. And while you're at it, I recommend checking out some of the other podcasts on InvestorIdeas.com, such as the Clean Tech and Climate Change podcast and the Cannabis podcast, both of which will bring you up to speed on the latest stock news and trends in their respective spaces. Alright, so Square Inc., which trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol SQ, purchased 4,709 Bitcoins yesterday for $50 million, an investment which, according to the press release, accounts for 1% of the company's total assets as of the end of the second quarter 2020. Amrita Ahuja, that's Square's CFO, said, quote, "We believe that Bitcoin has the potential to be a more ubiquitous currency in the future. As it grows in adoption, we intend to learn and participate in a disciplined way. For a company that is building products based on a more inclusive future, this investment is a step on that journey." End quote. Now, the investment by Square is being attributed to a subsequent Bitcoin rally, which has this morning culminated in the cryptocurrency passing $11,000 for the first time since September 19th, according to data from CoinMarketCap. At press time, Bitcoin is trading for $11,090. The Bank for International Settlements, or BIS, collaborated with 7 central banks, including the Bank of England, the U.S. Federal Reserve, and the Bank of Japan, on a report discussing central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, according to Cointelegraph. An excerpt from the report shared with Cointelegraph outlines 3 principles the authors agreed to with regard to CBDCs. Quote, "A central bank should not compromise monetary or financial stability by issuing a CBDC. A CBDC would need to coexist with and complement existing forms of money, and a CBDC should promote innovation and efficiency." End quote. The report, despite discussing CBDCs at length, refrained from sharing opinions on it or detailing any future plans by individual banks. Concurrent with the BIS report is a document published by the Bank of Japan that outlines its approach to CBDCs. Though again denying any plans to issue CBDCs, the Bank of Japan indicated plans for conducting tests for its technology. An excerpt reads, quote, "The bank will explore general-purpose CBDC in a more concrete and practical way by conducting experiments, rather than confining itself to conceptual research as before. The bank will first test the technical feasibility of the core functions and features required for CBDC through a proof of concept. It will then consider the need for a pilot program if necessary." End quote. It goes on to indicate intentions to begin this first phase of the proof of concept early in 2021. That does it for today's Crypto Corner. If you would like to be a guest or sponsor for this podcast, contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website. And this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products, services, or securities. Investors are reminded all investment involves risk and possible loss of investment. To hear more InvestorIdeas.com podcasts, please visit InvestorIdeas.com/audio. And a reminder, you can also hear our podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio.com, and Google Play Music.